Right, so we're going to start with Rokkr's turn.
Right.
Now, I've written most of this down. So, right, first thing Rokkr's going to do is going to cast Zephyr Strike as a bonus action. Spell.
You realise you'll not get hit by things when you're moving away from them.
And then he's not, no. So he's going to move to here. He is. I've had to write this down so I don't forget anything because it's that complicated.
If it matters, he's
technically he smells like a beanie baby.
He's what?
He gets an extra 10 if he wants to. He can run 45 because on his first turn, as well as an extra attack, he gets an extra 10 feet.
What, because of Zephyr Strike?
No, because he's a Gloomstalker.
Yeah.
They get an extra 10 feet as well.
They do, but he gets another 10 for Zephyr Strike as well.
Yeah,
It's
he's
ludicrous.
got a movement of
absolutely ludicrous.
55.
Yeah. But if I go any further, I can't see this one. So I'm going to shoot this one first, and it's going to be at advantage, and this is going to be the
mushrooms.
Zephyr. No, this is going to be his Dread Ambusher attack. So where's Jim's sheet? There it is. So it's an action at advantage. $15 does hit, and the damage is going to be, so if it's his Dread Ambusher, it's 2d8 plus 6. 8.
D8.
So, right, so one's dead. The second one, so he's concentrating on Zephyr Strike. The second one is going to be the Zephyr Strike shot. So that's going to be at advantage. And he rolls 25 to hit, which hits, so that's going to be 2d8 plus 6.
Your mum.
8. See, that kills the second one, and the last one, he's going to use his Favoured Foe. So that's going to drop Zephyr Strike, but he gets to roll at advantage.
Is it not a bonus? Is it not a bonus action?
It's not, mate. No.
What?
No action taken. So that's a D8 plus D4, D8, D4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, all three are dead.
I love how we waited 2 weeks so that we didn't have time for Gemma to do that.
And now we can move another 10 feet because Zephyr Strikes, even though he's dropped concentration, is still until end of turn. So what he's going to do, and I've ummed and ahed about this. I didn't know which direction to push you. So we're in the catacombs of Ravenloft. It's dark, it's dingy, it's spooky as fuck. What's happened so far is Akxikas wanted to come down here, and because of his gifted
enormous penis.
Because of his enormous penis gifted to him by Jarek.
I thought we decided it was a mace.
or what was the spell that you cast? Enhanceability. So because of that, you were quite persuasive, and Strahd allowed you to come down here. You did what you needed to do. You went into Kazan's tomb. You said Kazan. A staff appeared. You grabbed it. You were struck by lightning. You were dropped to the floor, healed to full, and you've been searching through this dark and dingy, basically an undead vampire tomb. Rokkr was set on by 3 spiders and almost took him down, but he's spun around, done his thing, and managed to kill them all. So let's kill. And then what's going to happen is, in the corner of the room, you had 4 Vistani were sort of keeping guard, and I've changed the token just to make Adam happy. About making Adam happy.
They look like they've got spoons and apples now.
I know. Is that any better?
They don't like the magically holding swords.
I want apples and spoons.
What's going to happen now? Nik would notice these lads. They're all carrying torches, and they draw their They're each carrying sort of a scimitar or a mace or some kind of basic weapon. And the leader, as such, is going to shout, "Now, boys, now's the best chance!" And they're going to rush in and join the combat. So I'm going to add them to
Are they all dead? Are they joining the attacking us or the baddies?
They're now rushing towards you boys to attack you.
That's all right. Dan can take them.
So I've put them on. Where's their initiative?
3. So after Festa. Where is Festa?
I mean, Dave's already said that like JMO can't die, so I suggest we use him as plot armor.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So that's Rokkr's turn out. In fact, he hasn't finished his turn, so he's going to move 10 to there. That takes us to Festa's turn. So you'd be aware of what's happening. Everything, all sound is echoing down here. So you're aware of the fact that something's happened to Rokkr. He shot his load. Yeah,
Shot his load.
It was always gonna happen.
Yeah.
While I'm on that, take his arrows off.
I just love the fact that from Jarek's perspective, he's seen Akxikas run off into the dark, and now he's seeing Rokkr coming back, running out of the dark. It's like, well, what have you done with Akxikas?
Well, depending if he's invisible to us.
Yeah, no, you've not seen him. You think you've seen him.
Yeah. Oh, I know, but I'm just learning from the character. Akxikas ran off. There was fighting and shouting, and then Rokkr's come strolling back out. It's like, where's the other guy?
You can hear the pitter-patter of tiny elven feet.
I can't see him.
I think doesn't he get advantage on stealth roll? You probably can't even do that. But Festival would be aware of the fact that these Vistani lads seem to have leaped into action. They think that you're being ambushed, and they're taking the opportunity to try and capitalise on it. So what does Festa want to do?
Well, I'm going to have to walk up to Jarek first, I believe, because I'm a retard out the way.
Where even are you, Ted?
I'm up here.
Were you not talking? No. What I'm going to say, at the end of last session, me and Ted were having a chat with them, weren't we?
No, just you. I was over near. Oh no, you weren't. You weren't.
Ted was with me.
Yeah,
Me and Ted
Ted's
talking with them.
Okay. Well, let's say you start in there then, Ted, so you can move from there if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, because I came down with you and then started walking back up and down the corridor.
Yeah.
Because I spoke to him in Elvish in front of them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. Move forward a bit. Don't want to get too cocky. Good line of vision. And we're definitely sure that they're trying to attack us.
Yeah.
Right. Don't want to be blowing people up that aren't. Actually, fuck them. See which one though. Should have thought about the fact that, well, I was expecting Jamie to get chewed on by spiders for a bit longer, in all fairness.
Just ridiculous, mate. We need to text him actually to watch the first 5 minutes of the video.
Just as a tutorial for him.
No, you're so mean.
You're the one that's showing him up here, Dave. You've gone, I've had the character for 5 minutes, watch.
I've had to research it, dude. I've had to make notes.
Oh wow, a DM having to make notes. Not the normal kind of notes.
No, not the normal kind of notes. No, that's to follow.
It's just notes on how to kill spiders. 3 spiders in a single turn at level 5.
I honestly expected the spiders to maybe be a little bit tougher than that.
Sorry, I always hate the spells where it's when they end up that they take the damage, as opposed to you've just been smacked by it.
Yeah, me too, Ted. But yeah, the ghost wolf spiders, they pack a punch, but they don't take much.
Okay, glass cannon.
Yeah. Well, they reduced. I mean, what's Jim's maximum?
He went low.
Oh yeah, they did a fair whack of damage, didn't they?
Massive, yeah. I mean, yeah. So 23 points of damage. I think that was only 2 hits. I think he managed to dodge one.
Well, we'll just chuck an ice knife at one of them to start with.
Okay, dude.
Asnath.
The fact not. That's right.
Asnath.
Getting a 23, I believe.
23 hits.
Yeah.
It's AoE damage, isn't it? Ice Knife. I've no.
As well, yeah.
I want to invent a
On
spell
hit, the
that allow me
target
to...
takes 1d10 piercing damage.
Nice.
Hit or miss, the shard then explodes. The target and each creature within 5 of it must succeed a dex saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage as well.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you were aiming for this one here then.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. So that one's
Give Dan a
takes,
chance.
That one takes 9, and the rest make deck saves. What's your DC?
Got it. Let's see if it says.
16 now.
Yes.
16.
Right. Well, dex 16 is.
I'm going to do it in an L shape. So 10, 15, 7. All fail.
2d6.
2d6, wasn't it?
Yeah. Get him.
2. Roll. You'll do.
Wow.
More from the explosions.
And it's cold.
That does take it to their turn, though. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not bringing a goose to play with as well.
Yeah.
Oops.
Certainly can.
Goosey.
Right.
Tell him
I'll
not
put
to
him
get
next to you,
into
dude.
any
You
blades with Tom Cruise.
Doesn't the goose create extra light as well?
Goose. You've got goggles on, haven't you?
Yeah, we'll have it there.
Is he going to appear there?
Yeah, because I think Dan's further enough away.
So
Oh, fuck's sake. Because once I, remember
I'm
how to do
assuming,
stuff.
I'm
it'll be
assuming he
fine.
can't make it appear above them, so it hits all of them in the middle.
yeah, why
I
not?
could make it appear in the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just a bit concerned about how close you are.
Right. Let me just.
That, if you do it above them, Dan, that might hit the bats and cause havoc.
It was a high ceiling.
Was.
We confirmed that.
We did for some reason.
Because we knew exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I've-
Yeah, it's 10 foot of him appearing.
It's
10
raining
foot.
bats.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Okay. So if I've turned off snap to grid, so I'll put him there in the middle.
hmm Just need to make sure that Dan's far enough away is the issue.
Well, you're going to
I
have to
love
be
the fact
quite.
that
If he hits me, he hits me. I mean,
You got-
2 AoEs on these is funny.
You are going to have to
Yeah,
be
and-
quite high up.
Would he be so high he'd hit the bats on the roof?
Potentially.
It's.
Should he just appear like head
I
level?
don't mind taking
That's
a
not
bit
that
of
high.
damage if it's going to fuck them up.
No, but head level would probably get down.
I'd still be within 10 feet,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's fine. I'm fine.
Dan will survive. Burn him. It's not often, Ted, you're going to get to hit Dan without him bitching. Do it.
And he has
I
volunteered.
didn't say I won't
He's just
bitch after.
volunteered.
It's just it's fine.
Yeah. It's a play, Din. He can make himself better afterwards.
So I've
So yeah,
got deck save again.
Dex. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do it.
Dex save, Dan.
So 16 again. So 8,
Mhm.
19 passes, 12 and
Failed.
10.
I failed.
Righto.
Of course you did.
No, I'm not dexterous.
How much damage?
Don't roll high. No, do roll high. Fuck it.
When I did friendly damage, at least I had the common
Eh.
decency to roll 2 1s.
5.
5, and it's half damage for none. Yep.
That's my first damage of the day.
It doesn't
quite
say,
early on.
actually. I think that's just some other stuff, Dave. Because many other things do half damage if it's none. It doesn't say, I don't think.
Right. So okay. So it doesn't take anything. So far. Okay. Anything else from Festa?
Throw a paintbrush at myself.
Paintbrush on myself.
I'm trying to think if I can prepare a magic ball just in case for next turn, but
Bonus
Balls are
action.
pretty magical.
That's Cinder, isn't it, for
Yeah.
bonus action? Okay,
so no, I believe just flag them off.
Sure. Why not? Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So their turn. So 20. We'll split the two of you, I think. Actually,
Does the goose get to attack them whilst they're running away?
I wouldn't thought so.
It's not used its reaction.
That's
It's worth
check
asking,
it.
though, is it?
Well, check whether the wildfire spirit has the reaction.
Yeah.
usually not, I don't think.
Mm.
No, I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to have one attack on Fester, one attack on Cinder, and then I'm going to split the last attack between Cinder and Nik, so it's going to be Nik. So 2 on Nik. Okay, so let's do Fester first. So it's 2 swings. First one rolls an 10 to hit, so I'm assuming that this is Fester. And 8.
16, so...
Yeah, okay. So on to Cinder.
Goose.
First attack is 11.
believes 13, I seem to recall.
Second attack is a 15. Which is 5 bludgeoning damage.
Wazzy Macram.
And then
Cheeky.
4 coming at Nik then. So 5, natural 1. 16, 7, and 7. Sound. They all miss. Takes Nik's turn.
Stab him.
Stab him in the face.
Is the leader still
Yes.
with me?
The leader. Yes.
Which one's the leader?
It was
Stab the leader.
this fella.
Which one, sorry? Oh, Hexblade's curse on him.
Okay.
I don't use it much, but I've got a single target and he's pissed me off.
Sound.
Yeah.
So, bonus action Hexblade's curse. So I crit on a 19 or a 20.
Yeah.
I deal an extra 2 damage. And when he dies, I get back some amount of hit points.
Come on.
Make something happen with your. I don't know what it's called, but I'm pretty sure I've read something about a cantrip that lets you bounce damage from the thing you've hit to something else as well.
Yes, it's
a
the one I
bonus
didn't. It's
That's
the
green
thing
flame
I didn't want to
blade.
hit. I took booming blade instead of green flame blade. Hitting him then with my booming blade.
That's
This is
pretty
where
cool.
I.
Oh, you still have got 2 attacks, have you? Yep. Come on, Dan.
There it is. I'm on the wrong page. Oh,
12 still hits.
wonderful.
Dan,
So-
write it on the board.
Whoa!
What are they wearing? They're fucking underpants.
So
Probably
this-
just leather.
It
2d8
is. It's
plus
just
8.
leather armor.
2d8 plus 8. Fuck it. I'm gonna smite him. He's the leader, right?
Yeah.
Very
48.
much longer.
48 plus 8.
4d8 plus 8.
I think you might be dead.
25.
Smite.
And I'm gonna look at the others and just shout, "Fuck you."
In the body.
Interesting. Make an intimidation check.
I get advantage because I've just cleaved their leader in twain.
I'd give you advantage for that.
Let me see. I'll make a roll for them. 9, 3, 7. Right, they've all rolled single figures for a brief wisdom check. So yes, you can have advantage.
Hey. Advantage.
Face face.
14. And you said "fuck you."
Yeah. I kept it short and sweet.
Sure.
Do they
yeah,
understand that
they-
words?
They now look like they're gonna bolt.
Oh.
What, they've got lightning bolt?
I'm gonna step. To block the stairs for him, and so I can get a swing when he fucks off.
Nice. Jarek's turn.
I'm going to shout language at Nick.
All right, Cap.
Yeah, nice one, Captain America.
Hold on, I need to see how many hit points I get back for killing him as well.
1 and a bit.
Oh shit, it's now +3 damage, not +2, so it was actually 26 damage.
Nice.
And I gained 5 hit points back, so that was Fester's damage.
Cinders, technically.
Nice.
Okay, let's blame the goose.
Yes.
So I'm just going to walk up and smack this guy on the head. So I don't think I need to waste anything particularly on this fight. So that'll be 22 to hit.
That's a 22 with a Mace of Terror I've just seen on D&D Beyond.
Mercy, Terror.
Nice. Roll your damage.
Mercy, Sarah.
Ah, slap round dead.
9 damage.
9 damage. You.
And
Yep.
And I'm going to use my Crusher ability to move in one space this way.
Sure. That's all the giant wolf spiders are dead, so we can remove those. So that takes us to Mark, Akxikas' turn. So you've seen Rokkr, your Oppo. You know what he's capable of, but you've never seen him move so swift and deadly. But you can hear the disturbance.
Again.
How far can I move, please?
30, mate.
30. So that would take me to there, which means I can see Jeffrey.
You can see two. You can see these two.
Oh, superb. Right, so what I'm going to do is...
You've got Hex on the go, because you did Hex one of the spiders.
Yeah, I'm going to move Hex to...
There's a goat.
To the goat. There.
Done.
It's not really a goat, he's a laddo. Then I'm going to... yeah, that thing what I do.
You do it. Go for it.
At him and at him.
Oh, we splitted it. Right, go on then.
Yep. Sure.
Here we go.
Which one
Second
first?
doo-doo of the night.
Are you going to go for Jazz Fingers?
This is for the hexed one.
Okay.
Where's my character sheet gone? There it is. Right. Sure. It's to hit with. Oh, move to spells, then I'll find it quicker. Eldritch Blast. Here we go. 22.
22 hits.
The first one.
Damage
And
plus
that
2d6.
deals- and a D6.
He was on 14. He's dead.
Wicked. And second attack then on the other Milado.
Go.
Here we go. 12.
12 hits.
Fuck. With a 5. Right then, damage. This is just straight up. 14. That's some damage.
Very close, mate. Very close. You're annihilating these boys. Right, Rocker's turn.
That's it then. It's over.
He's going to move into range. So first shot. We'll try and finish this lad. Oh, with advantage. 18 hits. So it's just going to be 8 plus 6. It's 8. So he's dead.
Is it up to you? Would I be able to say request non-lethal on the last one?
Sure. We can try. Actually, I'm saying this is torchlight, so he's not invisible. So it's not advantage. It's not. It's got +9. So second one to hit. That was so close to a natural 20. 11 hits, however.
11's not
But he
close to a
doesn't have
natural 20.
He doesn't have advantage, does he? Is
He doesn't have
No.
advantage.
that not rolled with it? Oh no, it was just 2 plus 9. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. 10 damage.
Jim's only missing on a natural 1 here. JMO,
Against these PPs.
against these guys.
I rolled a 5. I still hit him.
I think that'll do for Rokkr then. Festa.
Oh shit!
Is
Didn't expect anyone to be alive.
Is that Horus Heresy tonight, mate?
Yes, pal.
Yeah. Is this commission work?
No, it's just for me. I've not. I can't take any commission at the moment because obviously I'm not getting that much time to actually paint.
I used to love 40k, but it was just so. I mean, I was the orcs, and it was impossible to win with them. Well, it was in our game.
You just need more orcs.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we only had a table that was so big. So for me to, I mean, I did have like so many more men than me mate, but he'd just have something with following fire and kill all of them in one go. Oh, 2+ hit, 2+2 damage. You get no save, dead. 2+ hit, 2+. Oh yeah, here we go.
So we're wanting to try and actually subdue this one.
Your choice.
You heard the shout, Nick shout. Don't kill
Yeah.
him, whatever he
Yeah.
shouts.
For some reason, Nick seems to think, killing the one that could tell us the information and talking to the minions is the good idea.
Oh, I'm not planning to talk. I have
Oh,
other plans, ulterior motives.
Is there
Oh,
nut
God.
squeezage? What is there ball fondlage in the near future? Is that what you're saying?
Oh shit! What have I done? No, that's not what I meant to do. Actually, it's what I meant to do. How remarkable!
Oh.
Doesn't help me much though.
Doesn't.
Is that a
The
nat
9
one,
doesn't
then?
hit.
So,
Yeah.
so bonus action, magic balls, and then you've thrown it at them. So that's your turn then, unless
Well,
you want to move.
Yeah, I think I've like thrown a collection of them near his feet, if that helps.
Underarm. What we said, not underarm.
That's his go. Which is clearly going to be a disengage.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's scared enough. He's just running, right? He's not disengaging. He's just legging it.
Yeah, nice try. What he's going to do though, he's going to try and vault over this part. So I'm going to, in fact, being as you're next to him, Dan, Nick can roll his D20 or his dex, and I'm going to give him it's not that high. I'm going to give him a DC of 8. So if you roll less than 8, he stumbles.
Oh, why do I roll well now?
Yeah, never mind. So he's going to go disengage, 5, 10, 15, and he's pegging it up the stairs.
You just jump into the goose.
Pretty much, yeah.
Who
So 5,
willingly
10.
charges a goose?
I wouldn't. It can break your leg.
No.
Famously, they can break your leg, even though they can't.
So he's pegged it up the stairs. So that's now Nick's turn.
Pegging it up after him.
Yeah, sure. You can get to him, no problem. What I'll do, I'll bring the action back down again so you can see him, just to see if you do twat him.
I've not done this either, so I'm now going to vow of enmity.
Oh, okay.
I think it's vow of enmity.
He's just
to
going
make
full
sure.
hand.
Oh, I mean, I don't want him to get away because it's happened before. So what I'm going to do is give myself advantage.
Fair enough.
With a piece
so
of
I'll mark that.
cheese.
I'm just really concerned what he wants him for.
I think the ball fondling. I think that's what it's going to be.
So-
I think he wants himself a man suit.
Booming blade with advantage. Did I
Put
hit?
lotion in the
There, that
basket.
hits.
2d8 plus 6.
Was this non-lethal?
Yes.
Lotion in the basket.
15.
Yeah, that's enough to knock him out.
We both vanished up the stairs, and then I grab his boot, and we both come back down the stairs, but his head's going off every step.
Nice. Unconscious.
Yes.
Nick's like, not today, bitch.
Okay, I'm going to take us out of initiative for now then. Before we continue, I would like, in order on my Discord, I've got Mr. Downing. Can you roll a d20 for me, please, Mr. Downing?
I reckon I can manage that. You ready? Are you ready? It's going to be a good one.
No,
Don't know
I'm
what it's
kind of
got.
a pinky colour. Back at you.
Wait. I'm really funny. That was actually an amazing pun, Dave. I have to give you some credit.
It wasn't, mate, and it never is. throw it out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so all seems quiet. The bats are sort of starting to chitter a little bit more. You're far more aware of them than you were before. Nothing else seems
Let's
to be
get out of
moving.
here.
Uh,
They can
well,
smell blood.
so I'm now putting him over my shoulder. In, do we want to find out what happens when something living goes through that blue wall?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, why not?
Cool. That's why I want him alive. I want to throw something living through that blue wall. We don't know what it does.
I've already put my hand through the wall and mine came back fine.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens when a whole human body goes through it.
Okay. So while that's going on, can we task Rokkr to finish picking up the names for the doors?
He's gonna disincline. Rokkr's of the opinion that you should make it out of here as fast as possible.
I'm with him, actually.
Do we think that throwing something through the wall might disturb something that we don't want it to?
No, I don't think. I don't know, but I do think we should be quick before the bats all come.
I don't think it's the bats which to worry about, but I would say there are some of these tombs that might be interesting to the history and everything of Barovia, and especially the ones that, like, as I said, when we went round last time, I did note down a few names of ones that jumped out at me as possible ones to investigate. So, I mean, I'm more than happy to go with. I'm more than happy to go with the full part with a majority consensus. But just as briefly, what I wrote down last week for the ones that I picked out that might be worth looking at was the first tomb was herein lies the one who walks the path of pain.
Well, what I reckon we should do then is everyone will. How many doors is it that we wanted to check? How many is
Well,
there? I
was about to say, I'm just going to read the ones out. If anyone wants to disagree on any of them first.
First
But obviously,
of all, are you
we
planning on opening the tombs, or were you not gathering that information for names to listen out for if they're relevant?
I was planning to
open the
actually look.
tombs?
I was intending to look inside them because we've not been told we can't look inside them. We've just been told
You
not
can
to
see
move
me
it,
now, so I'll be
not to take anything.
it.
So the other ones was I didn't write down his full name. I just wrote 2. Number 5 was the wine dude. I thought it was something to do with the winery. 6 and 11 was a saint, and then healer of kings, light under the west. And 25 was the first counsel to the king, I think. So they're ones that I'd read. So there's the ones that David said so far that jumped out at me, but we only got as far as, I believe, Tomb 26 before spiders.
What would you be expecting to find in them other than a skeleton?
I don't know, but these, I mean...
Jeez.
I don't know, is my honest answer, but they're the ones...
Also, if we throw this person through, what are we doing with that information? Is it... I'm assuming we're still not going through and disturbing anything, or is it more of we'll have that information if we ever come back, we know what to expect?
Well, it depends how flighty people are getting. I mean, I've obviously put my hand... I shouldn't have put my hand through it. I did reach out and touch it. It was a silly thing to do, but it didn't kill me. So, I mean, if the body flies through it, I've no objection to trying to go through it, but it's how long are we staying down here for? I mean, yeah, I'll say they're just the ones that so far that were read out that jumped out at me that either, a saint of the area is always useful to know about. Healer, that's the cleric in me, curious about that. The first council, again, there could be decent historical information there. The wine dude, purely because of the wizard's winery that we've had mentioned. I don't know, number 1 just feels like, I don't know, tomb number 1 feels like it should be important. It's weird that it's got a quote rather than a name. And so far, it's the only one I think we've had that's not had a name, it's just had a quote, which just strikes me as weird. If that makes sense? I mean, all the others have had names and quotes, I think, that Dave's read out, apart from the one that I think we couldn't read the name on because it was old and dead and gone. This is the only one that has had just a quote and nothing else.
So what are we doing first, if we are
Open all the doors and chuck a fireball on each one.
Yeah.
Well, it's Rokkr and Akxikas that are the voices wanting to leave, so it's whether...
And the ones that are both heavily wounded.
Yeah, which is understandable. But obviously, I'm more than happy to be the one opening them if I'm the one curious about investigating. If we're only investigating a certain number, we might have to decide which ones we're going for, but...
I can only teleport us so far, remember?
Yeah.
If things do go a bit special.
So what does? So I mean, Rokkr's votes leave, Akxikas voters leave, although seems slightly more willing to spend a moment. But the other, it's up to you two guys. If there's anything, Jarek would like to investigate some or all of these, but we'll accept if you guys want to leave with where we are. But all we're going to do is go upstairs and sleep in a castle and then leave in the morning with no further information.
I mean, part of me thinks because we can't take anything. At this point, I don't know what there is to gain. If we ever find ourselves here again, not under the same oath, would that be the time to do it? Because the last thing we want to do is risk something going horribly wrong.
Yeah, but on the set,
there being no upside to it.
We said that going into the tomb for Akxikas, and we're taking the rod, the staff.
Yeah, but that wasn't there.
Yes, okay, it wasn't there, but that's not to say some of the other tombs might have a similar kind of concept. Who knows?
You just want to go and open the doors and shout names in.
Jeff,
I'm down
come
for
on.
that.
Come on, Jeff.
It's purely if there hadn't been a
Boot the door through. Jeff,
and there hadn't been a healer, I probably wouldn't be interested. But it's the natural cleric curiosity. We've got to save the Barovia.
That'll really frustrate me.
The other question I've got is when I'm throwing this guy through the blue wall, do we want him to be conscious or unconscious, or do you not think it matters?
I don't. I honestly don't care because I wasn't expecting that. That process. So I'm happy for Nick to make the choice on that one. I mean, what I think would be good is hold him up in front of it, slap him to wake him up, and then just push him through.
I was going to throw him, and as I let go of him, just lay on hands for one, so he woke up midair.
that was my grip. I think that's possibly a little bit too disorientating and a bit unfair on him.
Douse him in oil and throw him through.
I wasn't doing it for fair. If he survives, I'm killing him.
Tie rope round him so we can drag him back afterwards.
I've got a rope.
Okay, we'll tie a rope round his leg.
Whatever we're doing, can we do it? Can we do it now?
And
whatever we're doing, that's
Sure.
over my shoulder, and as I release 1 point of lay on hands as he goes through it.
Sure.
So which one? So do we want to? I would say it's up to you guys. It's up to. I would say it's between. If one of you two side with Rokkr and Akxikas, we're leaving. If both of you are happy to investigate, we're staying because that's party majority.
Honestly, I don't know what there is to be gained from it. If there's one that you want to look at, we can potentially look at one. But if I don't think we've got time to look through all of them.
Let's deal with the Vistani first, because that's relatively straightforward. You're doing it. So, and as a person that does carry human beings for a living, you're not going to be able to manage this by yourself as you envisage, unless you've got some kind of supernatural feat. You're probably going to need help.
Okay, they tried to jump us after being nice.
Can I just shrug him off my shoulder into it?
Yeah, you can sort of unconsciously sit him up and then let go.
No.
And then let go backwards.
I'm quite happy to help you, mate. Let's just do it.
There you go. Two people could do it.
Hold him in front of you, Dan.
Otter.
Hold him in front of you. Lay on hands. He wakes up. Kick him through.
This is Sparta.
That'll do. Let's position where everyone is. So I'm going to put the Vistani fella.
I'll be next to him on one side as I was carrying.
Nick's going to be next to it, and so Akxikas, you're helping where Rokkr will be sort of stood. This light needs to end.
We've got a rope tied around his ankle, ready to just yank him if we need to. Around both legs.
Just get rid of it. Sorry, 1 second.
Hit suit.
So rope tied to him. Rokkr's standing there. Akxikas, you're helping to get through the door.
Yeah, I've got his arms or his legs, whichever.
Okay, and where's Fester standing? You're staying where you are, Ted.
And we decided we were going to stand him up in front with
Sparta.
Yeah, and Sparta.
I was thinking that originally, then I thought maybe throwing it would be easier, but seeing as Ted suggested it as well, if we're a democracy, Sparta.
He can put himself in the right position between us, so we'll lift him up, you lay on
hands.
hands.
Is the democracy I'm in for. Sparta kicks.
I'm going to stand near the stairs, Dave.
Sure.
I'll be perfectly honest with you.
So Akxikas is stood next to you then. What happens as you rouse him and what are we calling it? Spartacus?
Yeah, I'm not a Sparta kiss him. That's weird.
He Glasgow kiss, maybe.
He strikes the blue barrier.
Not him, Dan.
As he strikes the blue barrier, he disappears and reappears right at the top of the stairs here.
That's really confused
What
Jarek.
about the rope?
What?
The rope, as you're holding it, let's have a think. So, as he
Sorry, this is
disappears, the
simple,
rope's cut off and falls to the floor.
So we've now got 2 ropes.
You've got a
Very
smaller
short.
rope.
Was it a 50?
And a
Was it a
loop.
50-foot rope? Was it a 50-foot piece of rope, Ted?
I only said I had a rope. I didn't say you could have it.
I'm going to return your 45-foot rope.
And
No,
now
It's
coming
hard,
because
isn't it?
he's got
Back
1
on and
hit
make-
point now. He's going to start. He's going to look like he. In fact, let me just give him a check. I'll give him.
He's going to be really, really confused.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he still wants to run. He wants to run as fast as he can.
Okay.
Can't catch him because it's bait.
So it'd be a simple case to subdue him. So we'll say, what do you want to do with him? Is he dead, or are you gonna? What are you doing?
I'll let Nick decide.
Oh, I don't think we
Don't
need him
give a shit
anymore.
about him.
No.
I've not got to do this yet.
Little bastard.
Warcaster.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast Booming Blade, and I'm going to
The
hit him
simple
with a spell attack instead of an attack.
He's on 1 hit point, Dan.
I'd just like rolling dice.
You're a fair
because
distance
he's-
away from him,
because
aren't you?
He's also moved.
Your DP. How you feeling?
So that's technical. So I've got to roll to hit, haven't I?
Yeah.
You feeling better, boy? Meow.
Oh.
Oh, dude.
Hi! Oh, that's
So
not
he
on
makes it
one side.
past. Wait a minute. It's pitch black.
Can't see.
You
I've got
have
dark vision. Is he not?
no. You have advantage then, I believe.
Ah. 26.
Yeah.
Can I? So it's 2d8 plus 6, and then because he's moved 5 feet, he gets an extra 2d8.
He's dead, Dan. He's got 1 hit point.
I don't care. 24.
He's really dead.
I'm not
Very
even going to
good.
comment on that. Right. So
Knew I should have added a smite.
once again, everything is quiet. I'm going to ask. No, we'll leave it for a minute. What's next then? What are you going to do?
Well, as I said, it literally comes down to whether or not anyone else is willing to let me have a look at some or even just any of these tombs or not. Or
Still more in favour of leaving, but I'll be persuaded if everyone wants to. I'm not.
Which one?
I'm
Which one's your
willing to go
preference?
scorched earth on it, so you're probably asking the wrong person.
Which tomb are you most interested in?
so, are the ones I've listed most interesting? The Saint, the Healer, and the first tomb purely because it hasn't got a name on it.
Well, go on. Let's just go and have a look at the one without a name on it quickly then, and then get out
Is
of
that the
here.
furthest one
Well,
away?
which one's? Yeah, of course it is. The oldest.
It's the tomb number 1 in the top left, I think. Is it this one up here, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one you go
So
for.
that was so that's if everyone's looking at the map, that's the one with the tomb without the name. If I remember rightly, that was the Saint. Just counting, because it was number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Correct.
I can't remember which one was the Healer. I
Healer.
have two
Was
number
that
11.
afterwards?
I have tomb number 11 written down, but I don't remember which one that one is.
Healer of the Kings is. It's the last one, second row on the right.
That one there.
Yeah.
So I mean, Healer of the Kings is probably closest to the way out, followed by number 1, followed by the Saint. So the Saint's the furthest one.
God.
So party vote, or do you want to just roll for which one?
I want to get it done. Just whatever it is, I just want to do it. Whatever it is. So we
Dice
can-
roll it.
Does anyone have a preference, or should I just roll for which one we go for and we do that and then go? If you...
Well, the preference was which one are you? I know you said the quote, but is the Healer?
I don't know. The Cleric in me says the Healer, but it's torn between. I'd say it's torn between number 1 and number 11.
Number 11's the closest.
Number 11, I would say, slightly closer to the main corridor and out kind of thing. Assuming you don't want to do anything more with the barrier.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, number 11.
No. It's not much different either way, distance-wise, actually, between 1 and 11, but 11's physically closer with it being less distance in. So...
which one do you want, then?
I'll roll a dice and we'll go for that. I'll roll a d20 and I'll do odds, evens. Odds, the healer.
Right, let's go. Do this.
Okay, Crypt 11.
I'll help with the door.
I'll just follow on.
Yeah, sure. That'll be so let's position everyone where you need to be. Rokkr's going to be...
I want to be where I exactly... Hang on. Where is
Rokkr's going to want to be closest to the exit, just in case.
Phil can see the door.
Within line of sight.
Is it this one?
Say again, Mark, sorry.
That one 11.
No, up here, Mark.
Where
North.
I've got to zoom out. Yeah, I need to zoom out. Right, okay.
And Fester, then you're happy where you are, Ted? Is Ted frozen?
I don't know, it just looks like a mysterious dark shape.
Yeah, I think Ted's frozen. We've got a frozen Ted. Okay, let's...
Right. All he's doing is he's sitting there going, "Not the healer." It's fine.
We'll catch up should we need to. So make your strength roll with advantage then for Jarek.
Is he guarding himself?
No. Oh wow, that wasn't great. 11.
Can't shift it, mate.
Okay.
That's anticlimactic, isn't it? It's. Let me just double check the.
I would have offered him a D4 before he tried that.
Go on then, have a D4. You've got the room, so you're gonna have to roll well on this D4. So
I imagine so. 3, so that takes me to 14.
It moves. It moves enough that you get a purchase on it, and then you can shift it next time. So I'll give you that for free. So this crypt is Tasha Petrovna, Healer of Kings, light unto the west, servant, companion. Inside a skeleton. Let me open it for you. Actually, I don't. Tombs. So. Yeah.
Oh, Ted's gone. Ted's gone.
Yeah, that's okay. Get it back in a second. So it's open then. It's not a massive reveal. A skeleton wearing a tattered priestly vestment lies atop a marble slab in the centre of the crypt. The domed ceiling overhead, is painted with a glorious sun memorial.
Born father.
Okay. Sun memorial.
Sun.
So likely the Morning Lord relation.
Make a religion check. Advantage.
Yeah,
with advantage.
That one goes well.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that's not terrible. 13.
13's reasonable. Double 13.
I got 13 on both dice.
Yeah. Yes, it is exactly the Morning Lord. You also notice while you're sort of investigating that draped around the neck of this skeleton there is a sun-shaped holy symbol. What do you want to do?
So again, I'll recognise that's a Morning Lord symbol.
Yeah.
We said we're not taking it. That's all I can see that's in there, kind of thing. Okay, I'm being brazen with this. I'm just. Is it like a locket or just a medallion, or can I not tell that without picking it? I'm just wondering if it opens or anything.
It's a holy symbol.
So
it's just a holy symbol.
Lick it.
It's quite ornate.
I'm just thinking with what I've promised upstairs to Lathander, it kind of feels like I'm just because I promised in the upstairs that I'd be a champion towards him, and it kind of feels like I've just walked into. I mean, I've already decided I'm not going to take the mace. I'm going to return that to the altar upstairs before we leave.
Or do you not care?
I would genuinely ask Strahd if he could have it. Rather than just give it up out of hand, just because the way he's been, I think the way Strahd's
Well,
looking at
we may
things,
not even see. The thing is, we may not even see Strahd on
but we
the
can
way
we
out.
can
We've
we
no
can
idea what it's
see him.
gonna be
We
like
can make
anymore.
sure we see him. We can send someone
Yeah.
to ask if.
Well,
ask
tell you
if
what,
he's
we'll
on.
decide that in a bit. I'm
We've got
definitely going
nothing
to be
else
putting the
to
mace.
do.
Now.
We've got
I've
nothing else to
decided.
do.
I've decided I was going to take the mace back. So I'll pick up the locket, and I'm happy to leave with that. I feel like that's something I should have come to get. I don't know. Feels right.
Okay.
If I've got with the promise I've just made.
So when Jarek makes contact with the symbol, there's a brief moment where you get sort of pins and needles shooting up your arm, and you hear in your head a ghostly female voice. There is a grave to the west with roses that never die, in a place built by healers, in a village called Kresk. When all turns to darkness, touch this holy symbol to the grave and summon the light, and find a treasure long lost.
So I'm the only one that heard that.
Yep.
I think we should leave it. It just
Heard
seems
what?
like a normal locket with there's nothing special about it at all.
Right. So, Jarek will just kind of just shush Nik at that point and says he'll speak about it in a moment.
Sure.
I might need you to repeat that. I might need you to repeat that in a moment so I can write that all down.
Okay. I'll
watch the recording.
I suppose, yeah.
Oh, that's a point.
What time are we on?
Time.
51 minutes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's that for?
This is useful.
Isn't it? Oh, it's so useful for me, mate. I can't tell you. I know no one else is watching it, but it's so useful for me.
Kurt's just started watching.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
You'd also be aware, Adam, just for note, so it's a holy symbol, sun-shaped holy symbol. You evaluate it's worth about 25 gold if you weren't in Baroque.
Am I a jeweler now?
It saves me trying to remember, mate. It's just so
Okay,
easy.
all right. You write it down so I don't have to.
So because we've got it all recorded, have you given all of us the keen sense feat for free? The keen mind, or whatever it's called. You perfectly recall anything said in the last month.
When we're back upstairs, I might get Dave to repeat it to the others so they all know what I heard.
Sure. I'll read it again then if you like. So
I'll read it again. I'll jot it down.
Yeah, you're going to share the information with everyone.
Well, I will when we're back upstairs and away.
Fine.
Not
well,
here.
yeah, like I say, I'll give it to you now. There is a grave to the west with roses that never die, and a place built by healers.
Yeah.
In a village called Kresk, which is Krezk.
Krezk. Eventually, has anyone else heard anyone mention Kresk yet? Because I'm shit with names.
Don't recall.
Rings a bell.
Check.
I thought.
It rings a bell, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
No.
You have heard of Kresk.
Okay. I'm really bad with remembering names.
So second part is when all turns to darkness, touch this holy symbol to the grave to summon the light and find a treasure long lost.
Okay, I got it all down.
Yeah, have you got enough for that?
Yeah. Okay, I got that down. So I will recount that to everybody when wherever we're staying for the night, and then we can discuss it there. But if we're doing nothing else down here on the way out, I will be returning the mace to the front of the altar.
Sure. At this point, I'm going to ask Jarek to roll, or Adam to roll a d20 for me.
Jarek's got dice as well, if you need him to do it.
Yes. What's to do?
7.
Okay, so still all quiet, all peaceful.
Oh, I felt that well so well. I'm almost willing to argue for more, but I think I've pushed my luck with some of them.
Right, let's go.
Yeah, I think Rokkr and Akxikas are getting twitchy.
Very much so. Rokkr wants to go.
Yeah, I said I was hoping for information, but I kind of feel like I found a side quest.
Yeah, that's useful. What we found something useful. Let's go now. Let's get the fuck out of town.
Yeah, I get the impression they're getting twitchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as my soldier background will recognise that and know that pushing it will potentially cause more problems than it's worth.
So you make your way out of the catacombs, spiral staircase, and it's if you remember, it's I think it's 300 feet up. So when you're on the main landing, so this is the main floor. Spiral staircase goes up. You've gone past.
So we're on the main floor.
Yep. Yeah. You've gone past where originally, when you did a recce of this area, there was a wall, if you remember, with a crack in it.
Yeah.
That wall, this solid stone wall, has been carefully removed and put to one side. And as you walk past that, you're at the intersection between the main corridor, which leads back to where you were sleeping for the night, and to the right is the chapel.
Oh, so we've come all the way back out to the main hallway.
Yeah.
Yep. So we came out through the chapel, didn't we?
You did, yes. So that's right, Adam. Yeah, beg your pardon. So it's a little. So you're out in the chapel. Are you leaving the mace now, or are you returning it?
I'm going to hold on to the mace till the morning, but I will be leaving it unless something gives me permission to keep it. But I will just say a prayer of thanks while holding the medallion, just to Lathander say. I don't know. It feels like it played right into what I promised to do.
You get a sense of peace.
Yeah.
And it's a reassurance that you receive in answer.
Well, it's better than a sense of carrots. That's what I say.
So
do you say that often?
Yeah.
I'm happy to go to sleep now.
Eat carrots.
Okay.
Right. Do we pass any of these on our way back, Dave? Do we pass any of the
assorted menagerie that was in the house
that we've met before? Some of the.
Sure. Cyrus will be there. Cyrus Bellevue, who is the mongrel folk that you gave the Haggai to, and he's now proudly wearing this Haggai. Attached to the Haggai now, underneath it, he's got a key dangling beneath it, and you do distinctly notice as you approach him, he looks like he's busy. I'm assuming that you're going to sort of call him over. Yeah,
well, I'll just call it. I'll attract his attention, and I'll ask it if it would be possible just to have a very brief word with His Eminence before His Excellency, before we retire, just very briefly.
He'll say the master is out. The master is out for this evening.
Okay, well, and he'll be. Oh God, he'll be.
Well, let's worry about it in the morning.
Probably.
Aye.
Please wake me when he returns, and could you ask him if I could see him very, very briefly, and everything. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Let's have a persuasion check. I believe your enhanced ability would have run out by now. Yeah.
It was probably for Dingdons, wasn't it?
Let's. I'll give myself a D4 if you'll allow it.
We had an hour after dinner, didn't we?
Yeah.
Dave?
Yes, mate, of course.
Right, okie dokie. Persuasion.
Well, while that's just happening, can I just have a kind of glance at him to see if the key looks anything of interest, or being as he's wearing it proudly in front of him, it just looks like a normal basic key?
Perception check then. With a 19 from Akxikas, 20 from Akxikas.
Yes.
Cyrus will say.
Perception. I thought you told me to roll persuasion.
I did. Sorry. So with your persuasion, Cyrus will say, "I can ask the master, but there's no guarantee."
Just do what you can. Thank you.
Your rooms are ready. The master has told me to make the carriage ready for you when you're ready to leave.
Right. Well, that'll not be. I say. Hopefully, he'll return. Well, he has to return before sunup, I suppose.
Whose carriage?
Make sure you to remember to wake me if he agrees. If he agrees to see me.
Yes.
I really won't keep him long. 2 minutes.
I will do. The only carriage is the black carriage that you arrived on. It sounds like the carriage is set up for your pleasure in the morning.
Yeah, but it's the one that we hired hooked to it still.
Ah, you had your own, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah,
we hooked it up to the back of it.
That's correct.
We need to get a deposit back on it.
Sure. So yes, he can arrange that for you.
Yeah, it was a tent-drawn carriage.
So with your perception then, Adam. Oh yeah, it was. With your perception, the let me just have a kick.
Just a normal. Yeah, just curious. It's just that it seems odd to hang it off a hag eye around your neck. So it's just. You put something in a not obvious place, you got to have a look at it.
Yeah. I am gonna have to check, mate.
Okay.
Which means I need to find Cyrus. There he is.
Meow.
To know this now, don't you? It's not something I go back to.
Sorry. I mean, I'm not going to steal it off them, but we might send Rokkr out to do that.
Yeah.
As he's Captain Scarlet for the day.
Just tell him to go up and give Strahd a Glasgow kiss.
It is an iron key. It's a good, decent iron key, but there's nothing specific about it. I mean, you've had a good look at it. What I will give you with 22 perception is the eye is flickering around, looking at all of you.
Okay, so that we've currently got the witches are watching. Okay,
I'll flag it off.
I mean, he's kind of like the butler head keeper of the grounds, isn't he? So that's probably just a key to the grounds. It's going to be his master key.
Whilst the eye's looking at us, I might turn to Fester in an Elvish say, apparently they don't know what I'm saying.
Nice. And we did check that as well, didn't we?
Yeah. So, yeah, happy to... I mean, I know we've said we're staying, but I mean, do we just want to get the carriage and go? Because I assume the carriage is safe to travel in at night.
I'm not turning into a goat.
Their carriage would be, but, well...
Yeah, but they said the carriage would take us anywhere, didn't they? Or was it just back to the main road, Dave?
Back to anywhere you want to
disposal.
Go. At your disposal.
So their black carriage...
You say the carriage is safe. The carriage is safe from Strahd. If we bump into a group of those revenants... they will attack that carriage.
Say I'm gonna whatever everybody decides to do. I'm gonna stay till morning and speak to the count.
Even if we all leave.
Even if you've all left, I'll come and find you.
What we wanting to speak to him about?
I want to ask him if I could take that mace and give it to you. I think I've got a chance. Yeah, well, I'm just going to, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's not going to kill me for asking.
Yeah, I suppose. So. Okay. Well, I would say if Akxikas wants to try that, I'm not willing to abandon someone in a castle on their own. And he put up with me demanding that we stay in the catacombs, so I'm happy to side with Akxikas's request in this.
Fantastic. Right then. So I reckon we go to bed. Does What's His Chops wake me up? Or assuming we all go to bed.
Any business while you're asleep?
Not before I'm asleep. What I was going to say to Jarek, or as the group after Adams relayed what we were told, what he had whispered to him.
Yeah. But I'll also add to the fact that that before I went down into the crypt, though I hadn't told anyone, not exactly, but roughly the prayer that I said to Tyrion and Lathander about championing, and that when I returned to the crypt with this medallion, I felt the sense that I got from it. So I do think that I've essentially, I kind of, though I can't speak for the gods, it does feel like they were almost pleased that I've taken this symbol.
Group consensus: do we think it's safe to talk? If the hags have got to be ethereal, I doubt they're coming into Strahd's castle. So I don't
they can't scry. They lied to us. Believe it or not, nasty things tell fibs.
Well, exactly. That's the point. The only way they could do it would be ethereal, and I don't think they're here. Do we think Strahd's not watching?
If he is, there's not a lot you can do about that.
I think Strahd will know whatever happens in his castle.
So,
at any time.
Linking what you were told about the treasure in the grave, either this is a brand new treasure that we've not been told of, or there's 2 tarot cards that it could apply to. The ravens will help find a treasure under an evil tree on a hill of graves. There's a reference to graves there.
Yeah.
There is also shed light on what will help you greatly against the darkness. It said wait till it's dark.
Yeah.
Well, But that one was then linked to your greatest ally as a wizard, which seems like we've
Possibly. So I
they're
think
the two tarot readings that would be closest to, or it could be completely unrelated and a new.
Yeah, so potentially we've struck some information there. Now I want to go and explore the other crypts.
I'm just gonna
Let's go.
I'm just gonna ask you to do something for me. You know, with the fourth reading.
Yeah. Shed the light.
So I'll just go over it myself. Because I'm trying not to interfere too much. But the preamble before she actually gave you the reading.
We've got it in the handouts as well, haven't we?
Yeah, it's all there. What she read to you is this card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness.
Right. So it's nothing about light and darkness. It's going. This light tells you about the wizard. Okay. So that seems like that one was linked to, whatever his name was, Mr. Wizard.
Kazan.
Zanrir or whatever. Zahan.
Kazan.
Kazan.
It was Kazan.
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 Kazan if you posh. Kazan if you me.
Yeah. Kazan'll do.
So nothing else during the night.
I don't have protection
actually
from good and evil, so we can't really
get an involuntary erection.
Head.
What was that? Sorry, Stan.
In terms of, I know we had said at one point potentially me and you, possibly Akxikas if he's got it as well. When we're on watch, keeping an eye on Ted with protection from good and evil ready, just in case
I don't mind getting involved with that.
Well, I can do that, so we can do it all if we're going to sleep shifts as we normally.
Yeah, I can't do it tonight because I've not got it prepared. But from now on, I can have it
before I take my long rest. Before I lose it in the long rest, I've still got a bonus spell slot, so I'll and I'm not concentrating.
It's only 10 minutes it lasts for.
I will have to drop it when I go and see Strahd.
So basically, if we see him thrashing in the night, we can cast it as part of.
Or did Esther? Do you know what you were doing? I mean, obviously it was all a dream to you. Did you feel like you were moving? Did you feel like you'd gone deadly still? What should be watching out for as tells?
Yeah, it felt like paralysis and then rape.
Yeah.
So
Batty.
Are we keeping an eye out for if he starts thrashing, or are we keeping an eye out for if he goes unusually still?
Yeah, well, I say we'll just I'll make it so that because I lose the bonus spell slot at the end when I complete a long rest. So we'll just do it so when I'm on watch, I've still got that spell slot. If that makes sense to everybody, then I'll go back to sleep, complete the long rest, and if I don't need to use it, then the spell slot's gone.
Okay.
And I get the hit points back.
So, should we organise watches then, or do you need to do some more?
We want to do it as a watch just in case. I mean, I know we're in a house, but is it still going to be safer to stay vigilant with watches?
I think we're still in a hostile environment. We'll always want one person awake.
So Fester will be.
As long as you tell me when I can help without wasting a slot.
Would you, Fester, feel more comfortable with a straight 4 hours or 2 2-hour shifts? Of your sleep, would you like 4 hours unbroken or 2 sets of 2 hours? Would it be easier to monitor you in 2 sets of 2 hours, or?
If we can do 2 sets of 2, then yeah, we'll try that, I suppose. But
or because people can wake up in the middle to do their shift, can't they? So would it also work for an elf?
You're the rules dude, Dan. If you're happy with that, mate, yeah.
I don't know if a trance is any different to whether it requires the 4 altogether or whether it can still be broken like a normal sleep.
If I'm honest with you, it sounds to me one of the benefits. Because it's a huge benefit being able to long rest for 4 hours, but I would think it's a constant 4 hours. But if you want to mix it up, you're not. Why not? Just me and you left, Dan. All of a sudden.
Oh, okay.
Was the question that boring?
Yeah. I mean, and the best thing is, anyone that's watching can only see you.
True. Yes, I've got. I think I've got it down. As soon as someone pauses, like Ted's feed paused, I just drop your feed and then wait until you're back. Makes it a lot easier.
I mean, I drop mine as well when I notice it happens. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think 4 hours or two lots of two? For me, you know what? I'm gonna be an arsehole DM. I don't do it very often. I'm gonna say 4 hours.
You want it a solid 4 hours in the middle?
Yeah.
Fine.
And we do, unless Jamo's book tells us about how the hags know he's asleep, do they just get a sense, or do they have to keep checking in?
They
Hello.
Hello. So they have to be in contact with him for an hour, but this is from the ethereal, so you would have no tell whatsoever, as far as Rokkr would be aware.
Okay, so they're unlikely to
They
get
don't come
tonight.
to him in his dreams. They literally come to him as ethereal forms.
They come to him as ethereal forms, and they enter his dreams, and all they have to do is touch him in the ethereal.
We're probably okay tonight then.
Probably, but it's for the other
do it.
nights. Annoyingly,
let's worry about it next
awake
time we sleep.
every half hour.
Yeah, let's worry about it next time we sleep, because
I will wake up and have protection from good and evil prepared then.
Sure. So, are you? Sorry, I don't know if you said. Are you having watches?
I'll just take the one that lets me use my spell slot, and then we're going to sleep.
Yeah, we're still going to have watches, and when one of us is awake, we'll still keep just an eye on Fester to see if we do get any reaction from him, and if so, cast protection. But other than that,
okay. So whoever's first, second, third, fourth, whatever, perception check just to watch over Fester. Then it will have. So whatever you order.
It will have to be Adam and Akxikas tonight to do the watch over Fester. So
Okay.
I've not got it today.
Sure.
So I'll take first watch.
Okay.
And I get a mighty 8 when staring at Fester.
Okay. Sure.
I get, and I'll give myself extra. Where is it? Perception. I always lose it. There it is.
I think they're alphabetical, Mark. That helps.
GKLM and yeah, they are. Plus, so that's 25 on perception, Dave.
Okay. So during the night, then during the first part of the night, Fester, your nightmares of the I forget the name of the bear, your bear friend. But you had the nightmare of this bear skin coming towards you and enveloping you. As it does this, instead of totally enveloping you, it straddles you and then turns into a night hag. And then you're aware of the fact that 2 other night hags are stood next to you as well. And they're whispering to each other. And it's from one to the next, and all of the conversation pans around, and they say that the eye has seen, the Lord leave, left you open, little man. And then they go on to say further, as they continue to dream rape you, annoyed, yes, the master left annoyed, giving us the opportunity to play. We have more tasks for you now, though, little one. We require children with souls. Prick the children, see if they cry, and bring children to the window. Bill, bring us children. Roll a d10, please, Mr. Cooper.
Yeah. Did I spot anything about this while it was going on?
Nope.
With a 25? With a 25?
It happened before.
It was during my watch.
Oh, kipper lips.
That was a d8, dude.
It was.
Was it a good hit?
Go away. So it's the 2.
No,
the 2
that's a
dice
percentage. It's the one above it then.
One above it then.
So the 2 together is a percentage. The one above it is just a d10 by itself. I'll be honest, Ted. I don't want you to get used to rolling d10s. Yes! So you lose 1.
Don't scorched earth, Dave. I'm going to get cheesed to death, I'm going to take a lot of things with me.
You lose 1 permanent hit point until you can be the recipient
Yeah.
of a Great Restoration spell.
That's 8 altogether, and the bear's name is Amica.
Thanks, dude. And
Let's
it's
just get one thing straight.
you very
Bear's
much.
name is Annika.
Your new mission from the hags is to deliver them 5 children with soul. As well as, you know what? Let's put another deadline on top of that. They will say roll a d8 for me then, Ted, please.
Do you want to take the one that I had?
Nope.
Okay.
Because that one's really bad.
Leave my cheese alone.
I'm going to add 2 to the roll just before it settles. 7. You have 9 days to find us a child with a soul, they will say to you.
Or
You
I'm gonna
can't
get more days.
respond in your dream.
Oh no.
You're going to tell us about this, Ted, when you wake up.
Yeah, I'd have thought so.
I'd say we will just keep watching, try and watch over you. We're not going to do that.
I'm going to suggest that we don't, because it appears to be doing fuck all. Maybe not. Maybe not waste your talents and use them somewhere else. Like burning hags.
What else I'll move on to then? Festa, just before morning, Akxikas is woken up. Jarek, you're on watch. You see the door open and you're sort of ready to spring up, and you see Cyrus there, and Cyrus will sort of indicate the tiefling and wander over to Akxikas.
Yeah, okay.
I'll poke Akxikas with my mace.
Yeah, I'll quickly throw something on to make myself look semi-respectable.
Are you going to use a charge?
Charge?
Is this the actual morning now? Have we had our long rest now?
Not quite yet. 1 second.
Right.
Yeah, are you going to use a charge from your Mace of Terror to poke him awake? Sorry. Cyrus.
It might change his mind about asking me to keep it.
Cyrus, as he comes over to Akxikas, he'll say, "Master, terrible, terrible temper." He says, "No, Master has gone."
Oh, bullshit. I can't ask him now anyway.
Oh,
okay, I'll go back to bed.
Okay. To be fair, it's not far off light. You don't quite settle. And you can click your long rest. Let me do Jim's. So it is morning. You have survived a night in Castle Ravenloft without annoying Strahd that much.
Yeah.
Not much. A little, but not a lot.
We were just too
I did
badass
try.
for him, weren't we?
Sorry?
Just too badass.
Well, he was generally impressed with us, so...
He did seem quite taken.
Yeah. And one of the vampires is very taken with Festa.
Right, I've got a plan.
Oh,
I really want Jarek to have that mace because it's magic, and it means that when we're fighting things that resist non-magical damage, it'll be so much harder. So I really want him to keep it. I propose taking the mace, leaving Strahd a letter saying that if he doesn't agree, if it makes him out, we will most certainly if he sends the carriage, we'll put the mace back in and send it straight back. If he doesn't, grant permission to take it. How does that sound, folks?
That's what Akxikas wants to do.
But it'll make you far more effective.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do that, I'm happy to keep it under those circumstances, but I'm also happy to just return it if that's how we feel.
Well, in that case, I'll just put it up to party vote.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, if he's left angry, regardless of where we said, we'll give it back if you want, at that point, we've already gone against what he said, and it's whether he takes that into account of...
We've got 2 in favour, so we've got 1 not in favour, so we've got Rokkr and Ted.
I honestly don't know what the difficulty here is. I don't know what Rokkr would be thinking. What's Festa's take?
I can't want to do both, but
ultimately the decision is Jarek's, because he's the one that would either be with or without it.
Well,
I mean, obviously, I would prefer to be with a magic weapon than without it. I'm happy with party vote because, I mean, if we're going metagaming, it's how much stuff's going to flee from terror on it. But
yeah, it's just the fact that it's a magical weapon.
Yeah, it's the magic weapon, wasn't it?
Well,
I mean,
if you hit a ghost or something, you can hurt
to
it.
be fair, if you look at the picture, it looks pretty rad. So I would like to keep it. But
as I say, I'm not forcing anyone's hand. We've got 2 votes in favour, me and Jarek. We've got a vote against from Nik. So it's Ted.
I'll take it then. Take it. Let's have some
fun.
fun.
It wasn't a vote against, it was a vote for it's up to Jarek.
But in that case, sound. That's even better.
We'll take...
Very polite note saying that we understand the terms, the conditions you set. We under no circumstances want to offend or upset. So if you would like the return of this weapon at any time whatsoever,
just draw specific. Maybe draw specific reference to it being in the abandoned chapel, just in case.
Yeah, and if you wish it to be returned, we will obviously not argue. Send the carriage, we'll put it in there, we'll get it straight back to you. Thank you very much in advance, cheekiness.
Thank you for your hospitality and the lovely food.
Thank you for your hospitality, and I'm sure we'll meet again soon.
Right, let me ask you a question. What are you doing with the letter? Where are you going to leave it? Who are you going to give it to?
I'm going to leave it.
Cyrus comes. Okay, so Cyrus comes to get you in the morning.
Yeah, whoever leads us to the door, whoever's escorting us out, we'll pass the letter to them.
Okay.
Do we see Essek? Was that his name? Essek? No.
Escher.
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 Do we see him? Because he would be the more reliable person to leave it with.
No. It is. I'll let you put 2 and 2 together here. It is daytime. You're not going to see Escher.
The bridge. Let's go and find his bed.
We're currently the bird with its wings down.
Daytime. Oh, wings up.
Wings up. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be a great phrase. That's how I'm waking everyone up if I'm on final watch. Right, lads, wings up. Best bit is if Fester's bird-shaped.
So Cyrus is the only option. He'll sort of wake you up after he comes to visit Akxikas. He comes back sort of half an hour, perhaps an hour or so later, and says, "The carriage is ready. Carriage is ready," and he starts to hobble off.
I'll ask him. "Excuse me, can you just make sure the master gets this when he's awake and hopefully in a better mood?"
Yeah.
And pass him the note.
Okay. Cyrus will say, "What is this? What's in it?"
Read it if you like. I've got nothing to hide.
Okay. I don't know if you'd be capable of that, to be honest with you. I'm going to have to check now.
You're welcome to read it if you can read common.
If you can't
or
read
just
common,
read.
Then, if you can't read.
You can't read, that's not our problem.
Yeah, he'll say, I will have
He'll pretend he can read it.
He'll pretend he'll try and guess what it is, and he'll laugh because he thinks you've written a joke to Strahd.
It's reasonable.
We've all signed the letter, I'm assuming.
He will read it, and he will say, "No steal, no take."
No steal. No, we're not going to steal.
No take. He's quite emphatic about this. He's sort of he's holding the letter and saying, "No take."
So we can read.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I'd give him an intelligence check, and he rolled a 16. So yeah.
Okay. So I say it's not the penmanship that threw him off.
Okay. Why not? What's the consequences? Because we don't want to get you into trouble, is it?
Rules.
Why
Rules,
are you
you
so...
will pay. Master will be angry. You don't want the master to be angry.
I'll throw it up to the party then. What to do?
I say I was happy to. I mean, yes, okay. I don't want to give a cool magic weapon up ideally, but I was happy to return it. I mean, literally the only other option is to go and put my old mace down on the floor in the chapel and see if that does the job. But I mean, it will. I'm pretty sure it would deceive this guy in front of us, but it would not deceive Strahd.
If he goes in there.
If he goes in there, they don't like going in
now
there.
on what to do. I'll go with the flow.
I mean, so if we're going to be trying to bullshit here, we can put my old mace down on the floor and see what happens. Worst case scenario is Strahd turns up and we roll some new characters in a few sessions.
Right from the start.
Yeah. I mean, if we have to start the campaign again, at least we know where to go to start with.
Straight to the castle.
Straight to the castle, yeah. And just repeat the same mistake.
Take the mace again.
Oh, it's fucking Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain from the vote because I'm torn now. So I'm just gonna leave it up to everybody else what to do, and I'll happily go with whatever the consensus is. I'm gonna bottle it so I can go and hoover the ferry briefly, give his coat a little grooming.
Well, I'll say to Cyrus, I will return the mace and head off towards the chapel.
Sure.
While everyone else heads out.
Okay, that happens.
Sorry, you froze for that bit. Are you returning the mace or returning your mace?
I just said I'm heading off to the chapel. I didn't say which I was doing. I'm just having.
He's having an inner crisis.
He's having an inner crisis.
Do you know what the best bit is? This is going to give me a leeway to see what he expects clerics to do in his campaign for me.
So, I am going to place a mace on the floor and come back out. No, I will return the Mace of Terror to the front of the altar. Say one more prayer to Lathander and leave.
Okay. If you recall the altar, there was the statue.
Yes.
That was there. That's still there. That's but everything else is still covered in dust. You place the mace back. Out you go. Done.
Nothing else happens.
Nothing else happens.
Okay.
No.
I have removed the mace from my character.
Okay. So you make your way out. It's a miserable Barovian morning. There's a light rain, but the carriage is waiting. Your carriage is attached to the back of the black carriage. So so Jarek has returned back to the party, and the carriage is ready.
Do it.
Okay, off you go. You're in Strahd's carriage. You make, if I remember rightly, I'm sure Dan will tell me, that you now have 2 days until it's the Festival of the Blazing Sun.
Well, that's it. We make it, if we've got time,
in Vallaki.
We'll try and make it to the... Right.
Was it 6 days since we left? We left with 6 days to go, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2.
We made it to the castle within 2 days.
Yeah.
So we've got 4 days left, haven't we? Then if it was 2 days for...
No, it was... hold on. Let me rewind. There were 3 days left when you got to the windmill. No, wait a minute. So you left Vallaki with 6 days. So 6, 5...
It only took us a day and a half to get here, didn't it? And then we slept the night, so that's 2. We went faster by horse.
I've got 3 down here, Dan. I've got 3 for the last session.
Well, we finished the day there, so we went and got the sword ordered in the morning.
Yeah.
And we finished the whole day.
I had Hags's 2 days left. Festival is 3 days. This is now the day after, so it is going to be 2 days for the festival. Which a horse-drawn carriage, you're easily going to get there within 2 days.
Well, that was the plan because it was another thing where it was kind of we needed to be there, otherwise we're pissing off the Baron.
Yeah. Well, I'm quite from Castle Ravenloft to Vallaki. If you don't stop, you would be at Vallaki. Past dark, well past dark, but you'd be there in 1 day. If that's
how often do we need to stop for you, Fester? For your no, then it's not all the time. The carriage is taking us, isn't it? The carriage is taking us. So yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So
sounds like a plan.
Straight to the Vallaki.
Yep. That seems to be the consensus to do it.
Okay. Anyone doing anything on the route? You've got sort of rests that you can take. Anything that anyone needs to do?
How long does the journey take? I can get loads of spell slots.
Can I identify the magic pole that I've still got in my bag?
Yeah, I'll play with the staff as well.
I've got it. It's mine.
It's in the bag of holding.
Can we enchant a 2-man tent?
Okay. What I'll do.
I've got it saved in the backpack of holding, labelled as unknown magical stick.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've told these lot about the 9 days as well.
You've got to do what?
That's more generous than a videotape.
What's a videotape?
You get a phone call after it.
What's
Another word
call?
that exactly. I'm a clever person. Don't mess with me.
Okay, right.
Okay.
How did this happen? Were people not watching you?
It's because Strahd wasn't there, apparently.
So
as in, yeah. So
sorry.
the hags can actually see through the eye. Then it's not just that's now confirmed.
Yeah, but that's we've left that behind.
Yes.
Adam, if you want to refresh Jarek's character sheet in the bag of holding, and I'm just going to reiterate that you had a fantastic roll as a persuasion. Just before you, if you look in the bag of holding, I've put the item in there.
Ooh, so I get to read it out to people.
If you wish.
I like that. That's fun. Holy shit!
Instantly kills a vampire of choice.
It's holy shit. A whole staff of it.
Yeah.
Where's everyone looking? Sorry, where's everyone looking?
I've got it. No one else can see it yet.
Oh.
So, wow. I would say I don't know how that portrays now, but that used to be a big one in the old rules. So, are we ready for what I've got?
Yeah, it is mine.
Well,
good luck, I think.
Adam's currently got it, and he likes the look of it.
No, I will be passing it over. But yeah, so we've got a staff of power. So it's a staff, very rare, requires attunement by sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. So it's no good to me.
Oh.
You're not one of those yet.
I'm a warlock.
Well, you're not. So staff can be wielded as a magic +2 quarterstaff. So +2 to armor class saving throws and spell attack rolls. It's got 20 charges, and it regains 2d8 +4 at dawn. And it can cast any of Cone of Cold, Fireball, Globe of Invulnerability, Hold Monster, Levitate, Lightning Bolt, Magic Missile, Ray of Enfeeblement, Wall of Force.
Me?
That's a big
you
lad.
Look happy.
I do look happy.
That is a big lad.
Did you not want to give that away, Dave?
It's got more rules at the bottom, but
it's got a big pecker.
Yeah, and it does have extra rules for if you really want to go supernova, you crack it over your knee and explode.
You do all of those things. I'll tell you what to do. If it's all right, can you remove it from yours? And I'll put it on yours, Mark.
Yeah, it's gone from.
If that's the power of these tarot cards, I'd quite like to go looking for that sword, seeing as we've got the start point.
Yeah, I would as well.
I imagine rushing to those makes the hags more of a viable option a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Right.
Holy God.
Do you want me to equip it and attune, Mark, just while I'm here?
Please. Yeah. Does it act as a spell focus? Because I use my current stuff as a spell focus.
Yep. So if you refresh your Akxikas' character sheet, and then all you'll need to do is just to look at your spells. On your inventory, the best way to manage this is in your inventory is the Staff of Power. If you get the little, I don't know what you call it, I'm sure there's a name for it. You know, the edit tool where you get like an eye. If you press that on the Staff of Power, it will bring up a facility to change the charges, alter the charges.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now. Plus, or it's got 20 plus or
That's
more,
it. So
minus plus.
You're going to manage that.
Yeah.
Can I just ask to do with the staff? Is this like the magic missile one that I've got? Which I've just remembered I've got that. I'm happy to give that away because I've now got Eldritch Blast. If instead of pebbles, Ted, if do you want a wand of magic missiles?
Ted, that'd be cool. I think that does more damage.
Is it you lose something bad happens if you expend all the charges, or does it not have that caveat?
They've got a chance of never charging again.
If you go to
roll,
0.
If you use all of them, yeah.
Right,
you've got to do a roll, and if you roll badly, it dies.
Yeah. So best is drop it to 1 at the.
Yeah, and it'll regenerate its other hamsters.
Okay. So the offer's there, Ted. Do you want a wand of magic missiles? Because I won't be ranged very often, and now I've got Eldritch Blast. I'm not reliant on the wand of magic missiles.
You're never going to use that.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah, you can expend loads of charges at once, Ted, and do immense amounts of damage.
So we can do that in session. All you need to do, Ted, is add a wand of magic missiles.
And
I will remove it from mine.
Okay. Wand of Power. You're welcome.
Did you say
Staff.
also
Staff
plus
of Power.
2 AC and +2 to all saving throws?
+2 AC, +2 to all spell attacks, and +2 to all saving throws.
Fuck me. Is there a cheat code to clone items in this, or?
You're never going to want to wield a staff, surely.
I mean, it does the same damage as a longsword. No, it does a little bit less.
There's a D6 in one hand.
Yeah, it does a D6, except I get +2 to the damage instead of +0, which is better than a D6 to a D8.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you sort of behind the scenes DM story for you. When it became evident that that's what you wanted to do, Akxikas was going to ask Strahd to see if he could go down to the tomb. It suddenly occurred to me, oh fucking hell, they might actually end up with a Staff of Power. You were currently Akxikas was having the argument with Jarek to, what are you doing taking the mace? What do you mean taking the mace? I thought, right, yeah, you're going to get a sniff of a Staff of Power. You're going to change your mind, boy.
Well, it was slightly different with that because Yog-Sothoth had told me to do that, to go to the tomb and speak, step forth and speak. Because as far as I'm aware, that was a gift from the gods. It wasn't, we didn't steal it.
Gotcha.
As far as I'm concerned, but I really wanted to get the mace, but as I say, just for not being, things being resistant to non-magic damage and stuff.
Have you had a look down your spell list now, Mark?
I've seen I've got lots of spells.
It's just ludicrous. Okay, should we...
Including some 5th level ones?
6.
10d6? Fucking hell.
Or, the fireball is cast at 5th level, mate.
Yeah, it is.
Automatically.
It's
5 charges.
Oh, that's just wrongity.
However, you can't sculpt it, so your mates take damage.
I mean,
I thought they did anyway with a fireball. I thought it was just a big explosion.
Only is it Evocation Wizards?
Evocation Wizards can sculpt it, yeah. Okay, are we happy to carry on then? It's only 20 past 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we seem to have profited out of that one a bit.
Yeah, some good dice rolls. I mean, I can't not go against the dice rolls. It's congratulations, genuinely. So you arrive at Vallaki. You're still in the carriage. You've got your cart attached to the back. What you would notice is that the gates are closed. It is, we'll say, sort of midnight by the time you get there. So there's only one day left until the Festival of the Blazing Sun. Yep.
Well, there's not much we can do.
And then only another day after that until a silver longsword.
Yeah.
Do we know how far away? Is there any way we can find out how far away the grave is that was mentioned?
Well, let's get you inside first. I will push you forwards a little bit because go on, Dan.
I do need to ask: has anyone got 50 gold? Because I do for the longsword. I have a deposit down requiring an extra 50 gold in 2 days.
Take it from the party. We've still got party gold, haven't we, in the bag of holding?
If we do, perfect. It's just something to mention.
Yeah.
So you've got no gold left of your own?
I spent all my 100 gold on the upfront payment. There's 50 left to pay on receiving it.
Okay.
It will be better. It'll benefit us all again. So
Yeah, I just like withholding things from Dan.
So
It's great to have the DM.
let's get you inside then. So you arrive clearly in the Devil's carriage with your carriage attached to the back. The gates are sealed. You can see the guards sort of withdraw in fear. You step out of the carriage and it's like, well, whoa, what's going on up here? Whoa. So how are you? You've been heralded as vampire slayers in Vallaki. You're about to have a ceremony in your honour. All of the guards know who you are, and yet you've just stepped out of the
What time of day is it?
Midnight.
Oh, midnight.
Yeah.
Evening. I was going to say morning, but evening, and start to unhitch the carriage on the back, just as if this is normal.
Okay, nice. Fly casual.
Yeah.
Is Dan now Chewy? Oh no, Chewy's when things go wrong.
As the carriage pulls away, you can shout, "On Dasher, on Dancer."
Yeah. Keep your distance, but don't look as though you're keeping your distance.
let's have a roll then. I'm going to give you advantage with performance. No, persuasion.
Performance.
Yeah, no.
Persuasion with advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, 14 will do. You're not getting much in terms of back and forwards with these guys. They're just like, what the fuck's going on? But they will open the gates for you. You're aware of the fact normally, first time you arrived in Vallaki, they weren't going to open the gates for you after dark. You're the vampire slayers, you're the heroes. They have no idea what's going on, but they do let you in.
We missed a trick there. With the vampire slayers turned up in Strahd's carriage, we should have just walked out and gone, "It is done."
Yes, we've killed him. He's dead. Thought he could take his on.
Missed a trick. So where do you want to head in Vallaki?
I think there's either the pub. I don't know if Father Lucian had anything, but hallowed ground is a good place to keep Ted safe while we're in the city.
Yeah.
It's probably the best place for him to sleep, certainly.
We'll go the inn.
We can also check with Father Lucian if he knows Greater Restoration.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, the first stop on your way through Vallaki, the first place that you will come across on your itinerary would be the Blue Water Inn. Do you want to bypass that to go to the church then to deal with that first, or?
Another thought. The guards, have there been any more attacks on civilians at night?
No further attacks.
Stupendous.
Unless anybody else, I had no calling at the inn. I think it's more camping at the church if we can. If Father Lucian will let us, I think in our current situation.
Free rooms at the inn for being super con, hip and fruity.
You were offered inns at the offered rooms at the inn if you were to solve the problem of the missing wine deliveries.
Wine.
I mean, we haven't yet.
Unwin at the Blue Water Inn was emphatic about the fact that and also you met a character, Rictavio, if you remember Rictavio and his history, because you investigated, or Fester investigated his carriage. So there's still a lot going on in Vallaki for you. As you go past the Blue Water Inn, you do still see lights on. Given the late hour, it's pretty much the only place that has lights on. There's no lights on at the church. Everything seems quiet there as you.
Is it locked up, or would it still be?
If you're trying the door, yes, it is locked.
Is there a post box?
I'm going to say sure. Why not?
So Fester turns into a mouse. We can get in the church.
I'm fairly sure there's some form of hole for it to.
Considering last night we thought we were safe in our location, and they still got to him. I think every night we can minimise that is important.
I agree, but I think can't we look? Jarek will know if hallowed ground will keep them if they can, and because they've got to enter on the ethereal plane. So they've still got to come into the church, even though they're on the.
Will Jarek know that?
Well, we know that.
I think you've discovered it between you anyway. So Jim's got his Van Rixen's guide.
I remember rolling for something on it, Dave, when you were up here when we told me.
Night Hags are fiends. Hallow keeps all manner of fiends, undead, and everything out. So yes.
That's superb. That's exactly what we're looking for. We'll ask if we can kip in the church. We'll ask Father
Can we
Jeff.
remember whereabouts his chambers would have been?
Yeah, sure. It's close to the front door. It's not a large church. Doesn't
have to be large.
No, there's only one door in. Everywhere else is kind of boarded up.
Jarek, do you want to go around, knock on his window, and see if he'll let us in, knowing who we are, rather than making a big scene on the front door? Kind of knock on his window and talk to him through the window and see if he'll let us in. That's the plan.
Okay.
Me and Jarek are happily.
Open up, it's the pigs.
Sure.
Open
So
To try and not make a big noise.
Take that tit off your head.
yeah, so you knock on the window after a minute or two. The sort of response comes back. Who? What? Who is it?
Father Lucian, it's Nik and
I
Jarek.
thought I was knocking.
It's whether you wanted me to be persuasive. I don't know if we need to be persuasive. It was just so
no,
he
'cause
sees
he's
two
friends
holy
with
faces.
Jarek's on good terms with him.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, Jarek's on terms. So what I will say is, it is the morning Lord. Open the door. No, I'll just say, it's. I'm sorry to disturb you at this hour, Father. It is Jarek. I would essentially say we're seeking refuge on hallowed ground at the moment.
Yeah, okay. He'll say, yeah, sure. By all means. 1 minute. And you hear scuffling movement, and the front door unlocks. Inside is Father Lucian holding. I'd like to think of him in bedrobes. One of those hats.
Ebenezer Scrooge, just candle in the
The
handle.
little candle. So I had the exact same.
Yeah, and he says, gentlemen, it's good to see you. Well, this is unexpected. Come in, and he will let you in. What brings you to the church at this late hour?
Hi.
So, in response to Fester going higher, I'll very briefly explain the situation we're having with Fester in his dreams, and that hallowed ground will protect him, and he needs a good night's sleep.
But by all means, he'll say, "Yeah, no, there isn't much space for all of you. You can sleep on the pews, I suppose, but." Yeah, you make yourself at home, gentlemen. Yeah, after
sleep under a pew.
I have a tent if there's any way you'd let us set up.
Any way you like.
No, sorry, not the tent. We can get the bed. We've got bedrolls, haven't we?
You've got bedroll.
We don't need a tent.
Just for the
We're not
sake of
putting a
it.
tent. This isn't. There is kind of a camping in church thing that you can do at the moment, but this is
Just to really confuse when the women wake up and see the tent in the middle of the church.
He will say to you that Gertruda and Irina are doing well. Irina especially, she's started stepping out with young Lord Vasily. He visits of a night and they walk around the grounds and they seem quite taken with each other. But they're asleep now, and he'll point to 2 different rooms. That's where Gertruda is. That's where Irina is. But yeah. So if you remember, there were sort of 3 rooms before the aisle, and then you'd got the actual altar itself. So there is a sort of a spare room that perhaps a couple of you could doss in, or you could all, wherever you want to go, the whole church is available, other than these 3 rooms.
I'm assuming we're not going to get attacked in the night, because no one knows we're here unless we've been followed, and it's hallowed ground.
Because we arrived with such secrecy.
We did.
I'm quite happy to bed down. I'm happy to bed down in the pews again. Still do the normal watch, as it were. But I will just speak to Father Lucius and just ask if he knows about the built by the thing built by healers. The graveyard built by healers at the town of Kresk, if you know, because it sounds like it would be some form of church or monastery. So just ask him if he knows anything about that.
Yeah, he will say, yeah, Kresk. Kresk is the village. There's I believe you're aware of the village of Barovia to the east. Vallaki, we're in the centre, and over to the west there is another village called Kresk. There used to be a village further to the south called Berez, but that's now in ruins. But yes, Kresk is over to the west.
I find it difficult to believe that the entire realm contains one town and 2 villages. Surely that's far too much. You know,
And a big fucking castle.
What sort of land what sort of country can afford to have 2 villages? That's just ridiculous.
Well, don't you know that's the ratio? It's 2 villages per city.
Oh,
come on,
God! Yeah, sorry, I'd forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot.
And he will say to you that yes, in Kresk there is an abbey there. It's the Abbey of Saint Markovia. Many years ago, it was a hospital.
The bloody Saints crypt that was down there as well. Okay,
is that who the saint was?
Yeah, Saint Markovia. I've got it written down next to me here. Well, I've written it down as Saint Mark, so I'm going to go with it being Saint Markovia.
It was, dude. It was. So the abbey used to function as a hospital. But about and forgive me if I'm wrong here. I'm sure they will tell you differently in Kresk. But about 100 years ago, this fellow appeared, known as the Abbot, and he made his way up to the abbey. At the time, after Strahd arrived, it was thought to be haunted, and now the Abbot took control, and apparently, he's still there today. He hasn't aged a day. It's a curious thing. While we're discussing curious things, the other curious feature of Kresk is they don't like outsiders. Unlike ourselves and even the village of Barovia, who I'm aware the village isn't particularly welcoming, we're far more open, but the Kreskians will not allow you in at all unless you serve a purpose. But yeah, any other information?
Do you know who they have?
Does the Abbot
take it up the arse?
Would Lucian know who they have allegiance to in terms of who we would offer to help? Like, would they be someone that would request us to help Strahd, or
okay?
help against?
To this, he'll give you the old tap on the side of the nose. Oh, it's safe. It's safe to say that the devil is not friends with anyone of Stani. Sorry, Ted, go on.
I was going to ask, does the Abbot by any chance look like Nathan Fillion from Buffy?
Well, he can do now. I can soon change mantles, dude.
Who's that? Oh, does it look like who from Buffy?
Mal.
Nathan Fillion.
Oh,
yeah.
Caleb, as he was.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah.
Are there any other abbeys? Sorry, in Barovia, because we've met someone who said they were heading to an abbey. Would they be talking of another more welcoming abbey in this plane, or?
There are rumours. There's rumours of a temple in the mountains, an ancient temple. This is far to the south. That's well past. If you, you've got a map, haven't you?
Yes, we have. Yeah. Party treasure map.
Do you want to? Shall we all have a quick look at it?
Is that in the handouts, Dave?
It is, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I got a picture.
So what?
Oh yeah, let's press. I can see it.
You've got it, dude. So you can see where Vallaki is. Lake Zarovich to the north. Kresk, you've got just to the east of Kresk. You've got what looks like a tower. She's actually on a jetty out in the middle of the lake. You've got a road south of Krezk which turns into dots.
Does that lead to the winery by the looks of the grapes next to the...
Spot on, Dan, yeah. The road that's just to the east of that, the big, long, windy road that goes past Beres.
Yeah.
Father Lucian has just told you that Beres is now, it is another village, but it's in ruins.
Smells a bit.
North of Beres is Argenvostholt. That you've heard about. Say again. South of Beres, you've got a bridge which is known as Selenka Pass. So it's TS, silent T, Selenka Pass. And further on from that, somewhere in the mountains, Father Lucian will tell you that there is rumours of a temple there, an ancient temple. Some people say it's connected to, it's a temple of amber.
Is this the one that you were hunting for, Dan?
Yeah. No, Mark. Did you know the
Mark.
location, Mark, or is
I
this
was
now...
looking for a temple. It was a tomb. Let me just check.
Temple of Amber was, I heard from your dream, wasn't it?
It was Temple of something. I'm
Amber,
soon going
yeah.
to tell
Amber.
Definitely Amber.
Possibly
It
like
just says, no,
an
the only thing I was
orangey-coloured
told
stone.
was a still. He gave me a picture of a bridge crossing onto a sort of like fortress, not Castle Ravenloft. It's icy. There's icicles everywhere, and the only verbal clue I was given was Xantras the Kingmaker, and I was told to accept the bargain, but I don't know what that means.
We've had a reference to a Temple of Amber, and I'm pretty sure it came from... It was directed at Mark. Was it his sister? Didn't Morrigan say to him, there's a Temple of Amber in a dream? I've heard it before. It's not. It's a phrase.
I don't remember, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
That's correct. Yeah. She said to Akxikas that there is great power in this land, and we could find it together if we could.
Yeah,
if we could
I
find
remember that.
If we could find
Grape
the
power.
grape power in the Temple of Amber.
Right. So that was a different thing. Server's disconnected. I've got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just me.
I didn't disconnect unless I'm on a screen and...
No, it says Ted's back on, but it's still running. If you, we're not using it at the minute, so it's.
So
if we need
he's
to,
not confirmed that there's another abbey anywhere.
No, he's pretty sure there isn't another abbey. There's a church in the village, church here, and an abbey in.
Is this possibly where our friend from the other night said she was headed to?
Your friend from the.
So this is after Lucian's gone. I'll be confirming this once he's gone, so not in front of him. But for you, Dave, I mean, the lady we interrogated, she said she was going to seek refuge in an abbey with her children.
Correct.
And if this is the only abbey within the area,
that's another reference to Krezk that you got. She did say Krezk. She did say Krezk.
So that could be another way in. We're checking on her.
Yeah, Father Lucian will give you a little bit more information. I mean, he will say that you're unlikely to gain entry until you actually perform a function for them. I think I've already told you that, haven't I?
Yeah. I'm going to ask him just while we've still, while he's still there. Can we? Sorry, has he ever heard of? What was it? I've just clicked off it. The Kingmaker fellow I just mentioned before.
No, is going to be the response
he
to that.
Know anything? Right,
no,
problem.
afraid not. I tell you what. No, he wouldn't know anything. I tell you, he'll give you one more bit of information. He will say that since you last visited, there have been more rumours of the Mad Mage to the north of the Lake Zarovich. He's been appearing as an as an elk. An elk wanders out of the forest, turns into a mad mage, and he's been seen throwing lightning bolts into the river and collecting the fish, and then returning back into the forest to the north.
Where was that? Sorry.
So he's hillbilly fishing.
Yeah.
Where was that? Sorry, which lake?
Lake Zarevich.
Valaki
Lake Zarevich is north of Valaki. It's not far away from
The
Ravenloft.
really, really big lake to the north.
Fuck! I thought we'd just been to the Mad Mage. That was just an even more powerful.
Yeah, that's just dawned on me as well. I thought that
We've still
Mad
not
Mage,
heard any.
because that was
So
Kazan.
is the only card we've not really heard anything about yet mine then? Because we've
Which
not
one
heard
was
about
yours,
Den of
sorry?
Wolves. Den of Wolves by Mountain Lake, or something like that. Was that?
Yes.
Den of Wolves overlooking a mountain lake. Treasure belongs to Mother Night. Now, I mean, going purely off holding the map, there's only. I think there's probably really only two lakes that I would say are mountain lakes.
Sorry, Ad, I'm just going to nip for a burst while you're talking about that. 1 sec.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh,
So,
what you doing?
I mean, just looking at the map, there's only two lakes I would say are mountain lakes. So we're still on the map. One is where the just next to Crest, where we've got the almost lighthouse kind of feature in the lake, because that lake's right next to a mountain at the north of it. And the other one's down to the south. There's a lake to the east of Berez, which again is nestled between some mountains.
Yeah,
all the other lakes aren't really touching mountains. They're the only two from that.
Adam,
Now,
very bottom centre, there's two giant mountain ranges, and it looks like there's a lake right in the middle of them, unless that's the one.
Oh yeah, I missed that one. Okay, so there's three potential lakes. Now, Mother Night, treasure belonging to Mother Night. I mean, it's either it kind of makes me think. Initially that would be a treasure of darkness, but would the treasure that's chosen to give to the cleric be a treasure of darkness?
Ask the priest if he's heard of this Mother of Night.
I know
the
Mother of Night Shah. The Mother of Night Shah. I know that, but
yeah.
I imagine Nik would then if it's Shah.
Yeah, I would. Well, traditionally, the Mother of Night in Faerun is Shah. I don't know if that would extend to Barovia, but it's either that or it's some form of evil dark presence, one or the other.
It's not an infestation of trouser monkeys. We're sure about that.
Oh, well, I would say if you think about it, Den of Wolves and Mother Night, I would say it's pretty much going to be a werewolf then.
Well, Saloon is the mother of the moon and effectively the god of werewolves. Lycanthropes worship.
Good lycanthropes.
Yeah, but she's good lycanthropes. Shah's the bad ones, I think. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Shah's Mother Night.
I don't think Shah's got a reference to. I've not read a reference to werewolves from Shah.
No. Bad werewolves is Malakar or something like that. Yeah, I know most of me gods. Yeah, Shah's Mother of Night, but not bad werewolves.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So what's the plan? Have we got? It's quarter to 10. We've got a little bit more time.
I could probably do with cutting it short, to be honest, guys.
Okay, dude, no problem.
It's a good thing for anyone.
So what's going to be the plan next time, if you don't mind me asking? Because it's nice for me to be able to plan something.
Well, we need to be here for the festival.
So we've got to tell Dave what we want him to know, and then we'll do something else.
Yeah.
Standard.
Is it a day away? Is it a day away from the festival? So whatever we do wants to be quite local.
They'll probably just go to the lake. See if we can find
the
that.
other thing I want to do is talk to the injured elf at the Dusk Elf camp just out of town.
No, that's what you want to do.
What I said. Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, yeah, the lake's on the way that way because it's to the north, isn't it?
Yeah, so we can also if he's the mission start, there's a chance that he sends us to the same place that something else of interest is.
Yeah, so we talk to him first, then go to the lake and see if we can pick up signs of the Mad Mage, and then head back. Roughly how far is the lake walking distance, Dave?
From Valaki, 20 minutes, half an hour.
Oh, okay. So
that's
we can have
to the south shore. The lake itself is reasonably big.
Yeah. Did they say? If people have seen the mage, then he's got to be somewhere along the south shore, surely.
No, north shore. The lake is fished.
Right.
So it's the fishermen spotting.
Okay, so rough plan then. So we head north. We speak to the elf that Dan wants to talk to.
The elf is in the Vallaki camp, which is west of town. Sorry, Vistani
It's not
camp.
far out, is it?
It's not far. No.
No. So to the west. So is it before or after the bridge over the river?
Well before. It's just on the outskirts of Vallaki.
Okay, so we hit there. We head north. See if any fishermen are willing to take us across the bank, and then we can always come back, depending on how we're off time.
Yeah, on that note, I just thought we've probably missed a trick with Strahd's carriage. He did say it was at our disposal.
Yeah, bit late now.
They didn't. Yeah, I just thought as we were discussing distances, I'm like, we probably could have used the carriage.
Well, we've still got the one we've hired. I know it means that you're.
We can be like a weird fucking Ravenloft A-team travelling around in a black carriage.
Paint a red strip down the side.
Oh,
we missed a trick.
Oh,
well.
Mate.
I'm sure we'll leave it for us to get it somewhere.
Is it still there, Dave? Is it still there?
No.
Is it coming back?
No.
It is now.
Quick, send the Raven, go fetch.
In case no one's watched that since the 80s, don't. Because it will spoil it. It'll spoil it, because you remember it being boss when you were like 8, and it's shit, honestly. It's absolute shit. I destroyed it for myself. All the way through going, no, that's never good. No, not having that. And the fact that no one ever gets shot. It's...
Right,
made a whole episode out of one that got shot.
I'm going to kill the recording then. So you got your plan for next time?